But what I realized is when these individuals leave us, sometimes they never died, they rested in us. The opportunity to live the rest of their life for them. You see, one thing I can tell you about pain, ladies and gentlemen, that it will make you believe that you are less than what God created you to be. But what if I told you these are nothing more than emotions? Emotions from your past trauma, emotions from your past pain, emotions from that scarred child. And as we go through life, we start to transform into a human being that's not really us. It's the human being that was hurt. It was the human being that grew up in chaos in his or her home. It's the little girl that was molested, taken advantage of. Nobody ever told her that she was beautiful. Nobody ever told her that it wasn't her fault. And I wish I was there to tell my mother, that beautiful queen that was molested, so she used drugs to cover the pain. But what made her so amazing is tell me, Will, you're not dumb. The Most High just gave you a gift that you ain't gonna never understand. I'm telling you, young king, you need to keep fighting because your life depends on it. It's your job to rise like a phoenix. Not today, not tomorrow. as I did. Get up. So from this day forward, 365 days together. No, we can't do it alone. Together, we can motivate this country. We can motivate this world. Let's love our brothers and sisters. Let's feed the poor. Let's show the world where the true king and queen is. Together we will rise, together we will fight. And if God says, together we will fall. Let's be phenomenal today, kings and queens. This is only the beginning. Because this life is not done with you. Your dream is not done with you. Mistakes turn us all to winners. Mistakes turn us all into perfectionists. It's going to be days when it seems like it will never happen. The dream will never manifest. The money will never come. The cars will never come. But you gotta fight for something more than material. You gotta fight for the baby that lays in your soul, that burns your chest. Because if you don't feel its fire, then it's not a dream. Get back up. Can you hear me? I said get back up. Because this life is not done with you. Your dream is not done with you. See, many of us believe that we don't have what it takes. You have multi-million-dollar potential inside of you. And you don't need $1 to obtain it. It's all inside of you. I heard a story one day about Muhammad Ali. And Muhammad Ali was this amazing boxer. I'm pretty sure everyone knows who Ali is. Supposed to know. He's one of the greatest. He is the greatest of all time. One of my favorite athletes. He had a fight in Johannesburg, Africa with George Foreman. It went 8 rounds. And for the first round, George Foreman beat him up pretty bad. He hit him with body blows. He was literally lifting Muhammad Ali off the ground with these blows. But as the fight went on, the crowd started to count Muhammad Ali out. They started to believe that it wasn't possible for him to stay this champion. But Muhammad Ali had another plan. He had other intentions. Around the 8th round, when Muhammad Ali thought he was weak and he was getting ready to fall and he was tired, a champion came out. A true champion came out. And he told himself, I'm not going to lose this belt. I worked too hard to lose this belt. And I want you guys to look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I worked too hard to lose this battle of life. I came too far to quit now. We all had those situations where we had to get back up. We had to dig down deep and find that warrior that lives inside of us all. And we had to use that warrior to get back up. Can you hear me? I'm saying get back. And all you people that have been disconnected from life, and you don't know where you're going anymore, you're lost. you can't see the other side. Go back to the child that you used to be. Remember the greatness that you had inside of you. And we're going to pick that crown off the ground and we're going to put it back on your head today. It's time for us to start living our dreams and chasing them with relentless effort. It's time for us to start being phenomenal. It's time for us to bring unity back into this earth. We're going to do this together. We're going to change the world. Not just spark. We're going to change the world. We're going to rise together. We're chasing greatness. We're throwing average in the garbage can, and we're awakening the greatness that lies inside of us. Because as I say all the time, we are all a walking $1 million check. But it's up to you to sign the check if you want to cash. We will fight, we will claw together. And we all have special pieces that if we bring together, we can never be stopped. We're going to speak for the underdogs. We're going to speak for the people who have no voice. It's time to rise. It's time to live. It's time to get what we deserve. It's time to stop listening to the outdated version and living in the now version. Your story is your story. Your journey is your journey, and it's always going to be different. Go to where there's no path. Leave a trail. Let's be phenomenal. One is okay, but the nation is unstoppable. Keep being inspirational. Keep being beautiful. Keep being driven. And keep fighting for your dreams.
Hi, I'm Tomini from The Sense Maker, and this week we're sponsored by Sage and their AI-powered productivity assistant, Sage Copilot. Running a business isn't easy. Between managing
So, what can make a change in it? I Am Affirmations has the best affirmations for health, wealth, happiness, and success. Follow I Am Affirmations daily.
Hi, I'm Tomini from The Sense Maker. feel more prepared traveling abroad in Spain and getting ready for your trip / motivation.
Say what you can do. Do what you say. If you can't do it, don't say you can do it. Don't over leverage yourself. Don't over leverage a decision and then jump in and kind of dip a toe. I think I'll try it out. No, think if you're going to try it out beforehand, but when it's time to go, dive. Finish it, find out. Come out the other side. Don't leave it and go, oh, if I just would it. That keeps me up at night. I think it keeps a lot of us up at night. You half-ass something you just don't know. Whether you failed or succeeded, got what you want or didn't get what you want. Finding out and looking in the mirror and going, I didn't half-ass it. I went all the way. I found out. And that ain't for me. Or I found out and you damn right that is for me. That's a great place to get to. Knowing who we are is hard. It's hard. Give yourself a break. Eliminate who you are not first. Find yourself where you need to be. The sooner that we become less impressed with our life, with our accomplishments, with our career, with whatever that prospect is in front of us, the sooner we become less impressed and more involved with these things, the sooner we get a whole lot better than doing it. I wish we were more full of ourselves. I wish more people in the world were more full of themselves. I think part of the challenges in life, a lot of us are running around half-assing ourselves, half-fooling ourselves, not full of ourselves, not studying ourselves enough, not holding ourselves to task enough, not patting our own self on the back when we do get what we want enough, not wrapping our own whip on our backside when we do get out of line even though we do better. I wish we were more full of ourselves that way. I think we should take some time to be able to look in the mirror and own that thing that we pulled off and go, good job. That's what you wanted. That's what you got. At the same time, be able to, as we do more often, look in the mirror when we fail and go, bogey, we're going to make mistakes. You got to own them. And you got to make amends. And then you got to move on. Guilt and regret kills many a man before their time. So turn the page, get off the ride. You are the author of the book of your life. Turn that page. Happiness, you can't guarantee it, but there is a science to satisfaction. There, you can look at habits that engineer less pain in your life, maybe more pleasure, but at least less pain. And that's a win. You're really happy in this segment of your life. Let's go back and look at what you were doing. Oh, I had some discipline where I was checking in with myself. Oh, you were going to church on Sundays. You were saying thank you, God, before you went to bed each night. You were appreciating more. You were pointing out beautiful things and not taking them for granted. And so I found a list of things I'm like, and when I get off track, I try to remind myself, you've been slacking on some of those. And I can pull it off. I've evolved. I got different ways. I get away with some now. But I've definitely found consistencies. And I think we all have them if we just notate them along the way that they're not by accident. Because we sure as hell deconstruct the reasons when we're in the funk. And we don't believe they're by accident. We can take ourselves behind the woodshed and show ourselves exactly why we're guilty for every reason. Condemn ourselves for every damn reason we got to that spot. And even looking at the things that are bad and going, oh, thank you. Let's cheers. Let's have a cheers on the way for all the things that will work for when we have shit going right. Also knowing that it's not forever, that we will have a mountain climb. We have to be more than just happy to be. We can't just all run around going, it's just so great. I'm just so happy to be alive. We want to be more than that. We have some discernment. Make a choice. Have some identity. Define what you want more of, and you want more value of your life. And set goals, go after things, create things. So we have to be more than just happy to be here. But that doesn't mean that if we are ambitious, that we quit respecting and giving rights. I respect this situation. I respect the position I'm in, this table to talk to you, that we're here to talk, that we're here to set up the camera, that we're able to do this. I'm not in jail right now. There's a whole list of long things I'm happy I'm not. You know, that never goes out of style to go underneath where we are to lesser, harder situations and just realize this is cool. this is cool to be here. So when we do that, we're going to get more meaning to this, more value to it. I'm going to be more generous. It's going to work not only for me, it's going to work better for you. It's going to work better for you. It's going to work for all. It's the kind of epidemic we want. Gratitude epidemic is not being a delusional optimist. And no, don't be a fool. I'm not running around going, no, nothing's ever hard. Everything's always great. No, it's not. No, I'm always happy. No, you're not. Maybe you're not digging deep enough because you're always happy. Are you really chasing the things that have meaning in your life? Because things that have meaning take maintenance. They break down. It hurts. It sucks. We get bruised. When the decision came to me, I was in a position to hear the truth. My heart was looking, my mind were looking, and I was giving myself room to cut out all the outside stimulus. And you know how when those truths come, they land like a lightning bolt and a butterfly at the same time. But they're true, and they're true for you. And you go, oh, that was a direct line. Then comes the hard part. Trust in that truth. When the sun rises and you're back in the middle of the masses, they're up going, hey, Travis, what are you doing today? Hey, they weren't there for the truth last night. Their truth that they think of you was the same one you had the day before, but now your truth is different. Understanding it is one thing, but then keeping it in action and trusting it. Patience and trusting is another. So it hit me in a clear way that I knew it was true. We always say, well, who are you? I want you to figure out who you are. I try to ask my kids that now. Well, I want you to know who you are. But it's so much easier to figure out who you're not. And if you start eliminating the who I'm not, by sheer mathematics, you end up towards who or of what feeds you and who you are. And it's a hell of a lot easier thing to go, how can I get rid of some bullshit in my life than it is to go, well, how do I go to my true self? Sometimes the hard work and the endurance and the elbow grease, the work harder, we were talking about that hustle, it's not the way out. Sometimes it's I need to back up, laugh, a sip of my favorite whatever, and dance my way through the raindrops out of this subject.
I think one of the themes of your worldview that I've become familiar with is alchemizing bad times into good ones. A reminder that things that seem bad can end up being good. And in retrospect, I think it's obvious and almost romantic to think about that alchemy in that way. But in the moment, it's basically impossible. How do you have more of that perspective during a hard time?
I probably start off intellectualizing something that I know I probably should believe in, but don't believe in it, and convince myself, even to an extent to trick myself, that, sit here and go, well, you just tell yourself, this too shall pass. Okay, great. Well, what the hell's that mean? Even if it's true. In the moment, you're like, what are you talking about, man? I'm in the debit section. I'm in a warning section. This sucks. I think that how much I'm conscious of it or not, my undeniable optimism and faith that this is not it is. And if it is, so what?
Now, why do you pursue things that scare you? Why seek the role that's hard?
Because it costs me something. Because it costs. It comes with a price. It's a bit of that line. Don't pick a fight. It's not really a fight unless you can lose it. It's not really, it's not really a risk unless you can lose the fight. I feel more alive in them. I have an experience in the making of them. I'm nervous every day I come to work. I feel like when I nail a day and I knock it, I know I did. I feel like, yes, I get the measure at the end of the day. Like, you set out to do something. You prepared for it. You had intention and you did it. And maybe even found some magic in the day. I try to scare myself at least once a day. I get butterflies every morning before I go to work. I was nervous before I got here to speak tonight. I think fear is a good thing. Now, why? Because it increases our need to overcome that fear. All right, so say your obstacle is fear of rejection. All right, you want to ask her out, or you want to ask him out, but you fear that he or she may say no. You want to ask the boss for that promotion, but you're scared he's going to make you overstep your bounds. Well, instead of denying those fears, declare them. Say the fear out loud. Admit it. Give them the credit they deserve. Don't get all macho and act like they're no big deal. that they exist and therefore abandoning your need to overcome them. I mean, I even subscribe to the belief that we're all destined to have to do the thing that we fear the most anyway, at some point. So give your obstacles credit, and you will, one, find the courage to overcome them, or you will, two, see more clearly that they're not really worth prevailing. So be brave, have courage, and when you do, you get stronger, you get more aware, you get more respectful of yourself and that which you fear. Friends, trust me, I've done it myself. You know, that lose a job and then get another, but don't take it because it's less salary than maybe the one they had before. And all of a sudden find themselves 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, a decade later going, they're still stuck. They didn't do anything. They're still saying, like, no, I'm going to find that thing. I'm going, you missed a decade, man. Just go do that one that you love to do that maybe was going to pay you less because you'd at least been building something through the day. And who knows what that would have led to? Maybe that would have led to something where you get paid 5 times more than you were doing something else you love even more. So a lot of times I say this in the book. Sometimes it's not even about what choice we make. Just make a choice and commit to it and go and dive in. There's a responsibility to freedom, and that there is freedom in responsibility. You know, and that earn your way there. We remember the stuff we earn, the stuff we experience, more than what the teacher tells us or what someone gives us for free. We just do. We broke a proverbial sweat on it, whether it's mental or physical or whatever. We built it. We understand. We felt how we got it, how we achieved it, how we got what we wanted. Those stick with us, whether we forget them intellectually. They were written in our lineage, and they build resilience, and they build healthy, true optimism going forward to know that, oh no, I've worked for something before and achieved it. Delayed gratification. Oh, there are choices I can make today for myself that will pay me back later in life. So to actually have true freedom, we have to be responsible, more responsible for certain things, for ourselves, who we are, constantly investigating and interrogating our better selves to say, I'm going to be a little bit better at this tomorrow, knowing that we never land. There's no ta-da moment. And that is one thing I think we all got to watch, because we all are so result oriented. Oh, if I keep doing this, I'm going to get to that place of pure enlightenment. I'm going to go ta-da. But there's no ta-da moment. We're always chasing yet. And if we can get comfortable and understand and laugh and be ready to work hard at the fact that we're all just, if we could just say, we're all just achieving our way to the unachievable. And that's as good as it gets. And that's pretty damn awesome.
Survived a meeting that could have been an email? That deserves an Emmy. Hosted a toddler's birthday party? That deserves an Emmy. Made it to Friday?
London doesn't stop. It's in central London. British business. Remember those playful and useful if they but yourself.
Business endeavors today. This is the core of what drives me. Okay, there is no business out there that I can take on. There is no monetary endeavor that I can take on that is worth the gamble of me losing me. It took me years of a lot of grief and pain and work to get to be who I am today, in spite of who I was. And I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose myself in business. I don't want to lose myself in trying to earn a better living, in trying to get a name, in trying to do this. It's like I have turned down
I have turned down so much because I've looked at it and I've asked myself, who's this going to make me be? Who's this going to turn me into? Even a little bit. And it's like, it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. And so I'm right now trying to find the balance in undertaking something that's not going to alter me, that I'm not going to lose myself, and then not succeeding at something because I was too afraid to try it. Never been afraid of failure before, but now I've got something I don't want to lose, and that's myself that I actually like, a me that I actually like.
The person that you have to spend the most time talking to in your life is yourself. Try not to lose their respect. How have you learned to have a better relationship with yourself, the voice inside of your head, to be kinder if things go badly?
I like me. I like me. I would buy me a drink. I look at me now and I see all the warts. Okay, I see all the negatives more than anybody else does. I see the positives. And over the whole balance of stuff, I like me. And I can give myself the same grace. If you and I were friends, I can give myself the same grace I can give you because I like me. I like me in spite of my understanding and the reality of my weaknesses and my warts and my scars and everything. But, you know, all in all, I'm a pretty good dude. And, man, you got to get to that point. Arrogance is pride mixed with ignorance. All right, that's the definition of arrogance. I'm not talking arrogance. I'm talking about, look, as a human being, I've failed at this. I've succeeded at that. I've wrecked this, but I've built that. And all in all, you know, I've tried, but I like me, so I'm going to give me some grace. And
How many people can say that? How many people say, I like me? They would give more grace, more care, more attention, more love to somebody else than themselves. There's a statistic around, I think on average, the likelihood that you are going to complete a course of antibiotics yourself is about 50%.
Right.
The likelihood of your dog completing it is 95%.
Yes. Yeah.
So we're literally capable of caring for a pet,
Right.
nearly double as well as we can for ourselves. Remembering that if you die, no one can look after the pet. Serving others from a cup which overflows around your own is important. Tell me, how do you like yourself?
Find somebody that you like, that you genuinely like, and figure out what it is about them you like. I like that. That's something I like. That person is, they're understanding, they're gentle, they're hardworking, they're honest. This is what I like about that, and incorporate that stuff into your own life. If that's the stuff you like, then incorporate that stuff into who you are. And then you like yourself. It's not rocket science. But if we become the person that we like, I have come to the place in my life where when I meet somebody and they don't like me, and you can tell, I don't care. I like me. And it's enough.
You know, this was a lesson that I realized toward the end of my 20s, where I'd accumulated a lot of success and status in maybe the way that modern society tells a young man that he should, with freedom and notoriety and women and stuff like that. And that was cool. And to look back on, fun. But it was beginning to get to the stage where I didn't like me all that much. Well, I hadn't done anything bad. But I just felt like I was built for more. I was built for different, built for something else.
Right.
And I realized I wasn't keeping promises to myself.
Right.
That if I said I was going to wake up at a certain time, the snooze button would be hit 3 times.
Right.
If I said that I was going to stick to my diet or go to the gym or do this thing, maybe it would happen, but it wouldn't happen quite the way that I'd meant it to, and there would be some negotiating and some cajoling and some falling short. You know, how can you have faith that you're going to go and do all of the things that you want in life when you can't not hit the snooze button?
Right.
You can't not cheat on your diet. You can't not do, you know, you are constructed by the tiny decisions that you make every single day.
Well, I'll just say I came to a place in life where I just didn't like me anymore. I wasn't a very nice person. And I was just very on edge, very angry. So I had to make some decisions. I can't continue to live like this. Angry, there's no benefit to it. You know, it doesn't fix anything. You know, anger, it just turned out, I'm like, this is not profitable. And this is eating me up inside. And I'm making stupid decisions. And this has just got to end. So I had to make some decisions. What's making me like this? I need to get it out of my life. And slowly over time, got a handle on stuff. And kind of got some of my perspective back.
So imagine that you had a friend, and every time that you invited this friend out for lunch, they showed up an hour late, or they didn't show up at all. After a while, you stop trusting them and stop inviting them out at all. You are that friend to yourself.
Yeah.
And I think this is such an important lesson for people who want to be liked, who want to struggle socially, and want to become better. People like people that make them feel good.
Right.
They don't care that much about how impressive the person is.
So I was riding for an outfit in Alaska, guiding, and they brought in a mare, and the best I could understand, she was a retired barrel racing horse from here in Texas. And so when I signed on, they assigned her to me because nobody else, we couldn't put guests on her. None of the other wranglers wanted to ride her because her go-to was run. If something disturbed her, her head came up and it's run, just run. That's my answer to escape, to just run. And it wasn't something that I could physically fight and stop. And so that horse really made me step outside of the thought process of physically controlling something that has a mental emotional issue and getting in her head and figuring out what can I do if the problem is mentally or emotionally, what can I do to get into her head and get into her emotions and fix that for her. And so what I did, and it's so simple, it probably wouldn't even make sense to a lot of folks. But while we were sitting there and while she was calm, sitting there at the ranch, waiting for others to get on their horses, I would just come in with the lightest little pressure and get her to tip her nose. Not pull her nose in, just give a signal, hey, tip your nose. So she'd tip her nose. And we just do that and just do that. And then when we get out on the trail and she started getting anxious about something and her head would come up, I would just default to that. And so she would find something that she was secure, the signal, and she would calm down, and she would calm down. And working with that mare for the summer, I made huge strides with myself in stepping outside of the norm of trying to physically control something that isn't ideal.
Yeah, I mentioned that I had ridden a horse for the first time in Texas, and they gave me whatever the leader of the group is for the horse, whatever that's called. And I was right far at the back, and this horse was eating. And the lady that was guiding the group said, just give him a little pull, he'll come along. I gave him a little pull, he didn't move. I mean, it is absurd to explain how strong these things' necks are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so I don't think he doesn't want to come. She's like, no, just take a little bit more. I'm a pretty strong guy. So I was like, right, okay, I'll give it a big pull. Didn't move. I'm like, and by this time they're 100 yards away.
Yeah.
I'm like, still, he doesn't seem like he wants, so no, like a really big pull. So I went mixed grip, like you do on a deadlift.
Yeah.
Set my feet into the stirrups and like 1 rep max this horse's head up. And finally he got up. And that was absolutely not the most efficient way to get him to do that thing. there would have been a much better way
Right.
than me.
Right. Now, what I teach folks is I don't want his body. Okay. I want his mind. Now, if I physically, like you just went through, if I physically get his body to do what I want, but I don't have his mind, as soon as he gets a chance, he's going to go back again. But if I ignore the body and I get the mind, if I have the mind, I have the body. So in a situation like that, what I do is I don't pull his head up. Okay, I take the reins and I bounce that bit that's in its mouth. I bounce it pretty sharp. And he decides in his mind, I don't like that. I think I will pick my head up. I'm going to suggest to you that you decide it's in your best interest for you to pick your head up. And we go for the mind. And how much in life, you've got all these folks working for you here, and you can't physically browbeat and nag. And you've tried this word?
No. The belligerent.
Yeah, I've already heard stories.
Yeah.
But you want to make things so that they decide that if this is what Chris wants done, it's in my best interest. I want to go do that. And again, it's communication, and again, it's getting in the horse's mind and working with the horse in that manner. I'll give you an illustration if I can. All right. One of the cardinal sins in my book is when I go to get on a horse and the horse walks off. When I'm part way up, I'm stepping up, I'm swinging my leg over, and he's walking, he's leaving. Okay, that's a cardinal sin. So we have a difference of opinion here, me and the horse. It's like, I want you to plant your feet, and I want you to be still while I get on, and then I'll tell you when I want you to go. He says, well, I want to go. So I'm not going to sit there and pull back and say, whoa, and do that one-legged hop along Cassidy down while I'm trying to get in the saddle. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to physically hold him back. I'm going to put my toe in the stirrup, and I'm going to go to step up, and when he walks off, I'm going to step back out, and I'm going to make him keep walking in a circle around me 8 or 10 times. I'm like, I wanted you to stand still, but you want to walk. I tell you what, I'm a nice guy. I'm going to let you walk. I'm going to let you do what you want in a controlled manner. You pick the tune, and I'll pick the dance. And I'll make him walk around. He's like, I don't want to walk anymore. But you said that's what you wanted, so I'm letting you do what you want. He's like, I don't want to walk anymore. Okay, stop. Whoa. I want you to stand here while I get in the saddle. And he says, and it may take a couple of times, but he says, you know what? I think what I want to do is I want to stand here while he gets in the saddle. So we communicate, and when I got his mind, when I changed his want to, I didn't have to fight with his body. And so that's how you approach it. You understand and you communicate.
What have you learned about humans from working with horses?
Humans don't know how to communicate. Communication is our biggest weakness. That's not like the number, but that's something that lately this has been just really hammered home to me, working with horses and working with humans. And communication is a much more complex issue than I think many of us give it credit for. So you take a horse and a human, a relationship with a horse and human. All right, for that to work, there has to be communication. Well, we have a couple of problems here. First off, the horse doesn't speak English, and we don't speak horse. All right. Well, as humans, we insist that the horse comes into our world, but we're too arrogant, we're too lazy, or a combination of both. Verbal, it's all movement, it's all body language, it's all this. And so that is a problem. But another problem is us and the horse, we're predator animals. All right. We're predators. All right. We're designed to eat meat. Our eyes are side by side on the front of our face. We see one picture, and we're designed to see what we want and go get it. The horse is a prey animal. They are the animal that everything that eats meat wants to eat. And so they have a complete different instinct. Their instinct is everything wants to eat me. You know, we wake up of a morning and we say, I want to be a trophy husband. Okay, what do I want to go get today? The horse wakes up and says, I don't want to get eaten today. Two totally different instincts. All right. So to be able to build a communication with a horse, we have to move into their world and learn to speak, but learn to think how they think. Well, I mean, we can say men and women are the same thing. You know, the women are different from men. They have a different way of thinking. And like I said, my wife, I've been married almost 34 years. And even today, there's things I say, and she absolutely, what she heard is not what I said. And vice versa. You know, so communication, and you cannot have 34 years of relationship with one person if there's no communication. I don't like the trend in this circle, men's motivation circle. I don't like the hustle culture as it's being brought out and taught today. I don't agree with it because I think it's out of balance. I think young men need to know that, hey, it's okay for you to sit down and to chill and to think. Because I guarantee if you're in the weight room, pumping out all these reps and running on the machine, and then you're going into the cubicle and you flip open a computer and you're not thinking, you're learning, you're taking in, but you're not meditating on stuff and you're not thinking. But that can be taken so far that young men are made to feel guilty for just sitting down and thinking and relaxing. And I understand that there was a tendency in this country. We had a lot of young men that were not raised with dads. They weren't raised to work, you know, and so it's sitting on the couch playing the stupid Xbox, you know, not growing up learning to work. So that pendulum went too far this way. So now you've got guys who, in order to counteract that, they've swung the pendulum too far this way. And a balanced man needs to be somewhere in the middle. He needs to be able to work, to do what needs to be done to improve himself. And he also needs to sit around by the fire in the backyard and just stay balanced. There needs to be balance.
I wrote an essay about that this week.
Did you?
Would you mind if I read it to you?
Absolutely not.
I think type A people have a type B problem, and type B people have a type A problem. Insecure overachievers need to learn how to chill out and relax, and lazy people need to learn how to work harder and be disciplined. Given that you subscribe to me, I'm going to guess you're probably type A, some version of a walking anxiety disorder harnessed for productivity, as Andrew Wilkinson says. Here's the thing you may have already realized. Type A people with a type B problem get very little sympathy, because a miserable but outwardly successful person always appears to be in a much more preferential position than the content being lazy but on the verge of being bankrupt person. The problems of opportunity will always get less sympathy than ones of scarcity. One feels like a choice, the other like a limitation. I need someone to teach me how to be disciplined and work harder, feels noble and upward aiming and charitable. I need someone to teach me how to switch off and relax, feels dopaminergic and addicted and transactional and opulent. Every underdog movie ever has a training montage of someone working their life out by working harder. None included a guy learning how to log out of Slack at 6 p.m. or finally enjoy a beach holiday. Type B problems are just as tough as type A ones, but they require a much less sexy solution, peace, one that you can't achieve by just working harder.
Tennis is full of noise, pressure, intensity.
This is all these kind of things. Is your name? This is your case. You gonna put your name? Okay, you but
No stress, no just pray. Motherfucker got
no, they're gonna come back and do it. There is no remorse. I told you already. There is nothing it's that son of a bitch's fault. Son of a good. But if you woke up in the morning and looked in the mirror and said, I am failing because of me, the decisions that I made, the energy I put in, I'm not passing the blame. If you look in the mirror tomorrow and say that, you will change.
to go for rocks, stretch out, stop drinking. Pretty straightforward. If you don't use it, you're gonna listen. Every day that you don't do work, you're going backwards. Are there any concerns on your part?
I don't know anything about that. I don't know nothing about numbers. I just know what I can do. How about business, mother?
See that butcher knife? It's consistently butcher knife. It's about that life. It ain't changing to no.
Toothpick on the weekend, baby. It's about that life too. Man, this is what I do every day.
Don't dare deny me to just say that I'm not about that life. It's about that life. Between that and that blood intensity. What's the difference between that butcher knife and that machete? Intensity. It's not how much it does something. It's not when it does something. It's how it does something. Dude, I'm about that life on a whole nother level. No.
When you wake up earlier than other people are gonna talk. When you work later than other people are gonna talk. When you eat in Tupperware containers while they're going out to restaurants, they're gonna talk. When you choose to stay inside and go to bed and grow and they want to go to the movies, they're gonna talk. They're gonna judge you, they're gonna ridicule you, they're gonna try to break you down. You gotta be willing to take it. So what do you think? You thought it was gonna be easy? You thought you were gonna be able to walk in and walk out and say, I'm the best of the best. You're not the best till you go through the test.
Do something that sucks every day. You're gonna have a part about you that's tough, a part about you that can break down situations and get better. The devastation, the trauma is gonna come, and you can't allow that to become a Jersey barrier. It can't be a Jersey barrier. It has to be something that you can maneuver through very quickly and move forward. That takes a lot of toughness. Be the best motherfucker in the world.
That pain you feel, that's a pain of success. You must be willing to shoulder that pain to get the success. The success is something that's a very lonely path in this world. Because few are willing to make that down payment of pain, that future of success, a better life. Very few are. And when you get the success, what comes with that is many that love it. The majority will hate you for it. Because your success is a spotlight shining down on their missed opportunities, where they came up short, where they didn't quite have it inside, and then went back to revisit it. Where failure is what stood instead of improving failure to success. Failure is part of the recipe for success. You fail 1,000 times before you succeed. Every single person has. It's the losers that fail once and quit. Every winner has done failed. The loser and the winner both fail. It's just that the winner gets back up and does it again.
Some of the greatest achievements in human history have come from those who dared to follow their passions against all odds. It's not just about the end goal, it's about the journey. It's about the moments of triumph and the moments of defeat. It's about embracing the messiness of life and finding beauty in the chaos.
No matter what you do, no matter how much you do it, no matter who you're looking at, no matter what you read, you don't be denied. But you think that just being consistent at something is going to let you win, that just that earns you a right to win. That I'm being denied that quote offer, I'm being denied this quality of life, I'm being denied that opportunity, this scholarship. I keep getting cut off the team. You know, if I just stay, if I just keep practicing, I just stay around this team, sooner or later I'll make it. No, you won't. No, you won't. Because consistency does not guarantee you the win. Many of you
as bad as you don't want to accept this, you're never gonna win. Because you're not intense enough.
Don't be afraid of the hard work. Don't be afraid to grind a little bit harder. Don't be afraid to sweat a little bit. This ain't the time to be sitting up there feeling sorry. This ain't the time to be saying you don't have what it takes.
I think most people who say they don't have enemies, they probably don't want to tell others they have the enemy, or they don't want to disclose it. The great poker players. I don't know a single person that doesn't have an enemy. Everybody does.
Being the hardest worker in the room is about actually learning how to walk the walk when everyone else just wants to talk the talk. It's understanding that you are going to be exhausted and alone and in pain and struggling for years with no support, with no cheerleading squad, and nobody patting you on the back. This game isn't for everybody. But if you're willing to go through that pain and if you're willing to do the goddamn work, then you can put that badge on and call yourself the hardest worker in the room.
When you're winning, you're not as good as you think you are. When you're losing, you're not as bad as you think you are. What's that mean to you?
Both of them lie. You know, both of them is exaggerated. When you're winning, everybody's telling you how amazing you are. And it always takes me back to that quote of Marcus Aurelius, who had a slave that would sit behind him and always whisper to him, hey, you're just a man, you're just a man, you're just a man. That's right, 40 laws of power, right? You're just a man, you're just a man, you're just a man. Don't let your passions languish in the shadows of doubt and fear. Nobody said you wasn't about that life. Nobody's saying that you're not good at what you do, that you're not at your dream every day. You don't have the t-shirt, the hat, the wristband. You got the job suit. You at the gym. You got the top membership that you could possibly have. You at the school library. You at this thing every day. On Monday, you looking at YouTube. Tuesday, you looking at YouTube. Wednesday, you looking at YouTube. You follow the right people on Instagram and Twitter. Everything. You do everything right. Read the right books. Right? Write the first video for me. Write the first video for me. Write the part one for me. It's not a skill versus real issue for me. And it's coach time. It's coach time. You see the title. Many of you are denied your dream and your goal because you have a consistency versus an intensity problem.
Follow the Motivation Daily podcast. Every day we upload speakers that don't just inspire,
You got to get to the point where it hurts. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired. But I'm not going to cry about it. No, I'm not a part of the country club. No, I'm not. I don't hang out with them. But I'm still going to be successful. I'm still going to get to where they are. Why? Because I owe it to myself. Can't nobody stop me but me. You will not destroy us. You will not defeat us to the day I die. It's your mental toughness, your mental strength. We can, we will, and we must get through this. This is what's so sweet about success. As long as you stay in failure, like you get satisfied with that. When you actually come over to success, it's the same thing. Like you gotta have more and more and more of it. Just like when you're in poverty, you can keep doing it. When you become successful, so I went with the master's degree. Then when I went with the PhD, we came out with an album. I wrote 3 books. Are you hearing what I'm telling you? Now I'm at a point where I'm this sensational desire for more success. So after I finished with the degree, now I start working out. I'm ready to hit this marathon. Now I got another book coming. Now I'm trying to win a Nobel Peace Prize. Now we're trying to do a reality show. I'm telling you, we get from the dark side. You get from being a loser, low self-esteem, doubt, and fear. You can find your way on this side, guys. It's sweeter on this side. Many of you have not activated who you are because you don't know what you want. Execution is worship. Execution is worship. Execution is worship. Execution is worship. You get away with a lot of stuff when you start executing. And I'm telling you, if you execute, you're going to be on a whole other level. What do you want? And there are those of you in this room, you are great. You are phenomenal. And you're not walking. Accept it. Now let's walk in it. The dream, it's yours. But you're saying, I'm not worthy of the dream. You're probably not. But it's been given to you anyway. I really don't know what I want. I am not walking in my greatness. My esteem is not where it should be. I'm accepting things that I probably shouldn't accept. And when I leave today, I'm ready to embrace the true me. Listen to me, as you're trying to get to that next level of success, you legitimately have to know what that is if somebody's going to be able to help you out. Listen to what I'm saying. I knew what I wanted. And the first thing some of you in this room have to do, you got to get to the place where you know what you want. And then once you find out what you want, spend the rest of your natural life waking up and going after it. That's what I do. I wake up every single day and I go after what I want. But if you don't know what you want, what are you even waking up for? E.T., why am I not fired up? E.T., why am I sleeping in? Because you don't have a reason to get up. You don't have a reason to wake up early in the morning. You don't have a reason to work out. But you better stop making excuses and find a way to win. Because once you start winning, I'm telling you, I can't explain it to you. But doors start opening. Opportunities start happening. But what you cannot do is you cannot quit during the process. You cannot give up because it ain't what you see. You cannot give up. And when you become a winner, they start seeing you with winners. And so I need you to create a culture of winning. And do me a favor. You don't have to win a whole bunch of stuff. Just win one day at a time. You cannot give up. What you got to do is, you heard it. Champions keep going when they don't have anything left in their tank. That's the difference between the greats. That's what separates them. When they don't have no more, when it's over, when they're tired, when they're frustrated, when they're ready to give up, when they spend their last dime, that's when they get started. Are you hearing me? It's when you have nothing left. It's when you depleted all your money, when all your energy goes, when you have nothing left. When it's showtime, when you find the way out of no way, when you find breath that you don't have, when you find energy that did not exist, when you want this thing as bad as you want to breathe, that's when you find a way. I wish I could tell you you're tired, go take a break. I wish I could tell you it's going to get easier.
I wish I could tell you that if you just keep going, it's going to get lighter. The weight is going to get lighter. I wish I could tell you that, but that's not the truth. The truth is you got to find something within. So I need you to do me a favor, guys. I need you to win. Until you know what you want, you will not get good rest. If you don't know what you want, then you've not begun to live yet. You gotta find something within, and that's gotta push you, and that's gotta elevate you, and that's gotta drive you, and that's gotta move you. And when you find out what your why is, and your why gotta be deeper than you. When you find your why, you don't hit snooze no more. When you find your why, you find a way to make it happen. There's no excuse for not living up to your fullest potential. No excuse. And I can't explain it, but you better feel me. Winners win and losers lose. I can't explain it any better than that. What changed? I changed. And I stopped being a victim. I stopped saying I've got to wait for good things to happen to me. And I said I'm going to grind. I'm going to fight. I'm going to work. I'm going to press forward. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do everything in my power every single day. I'm going to do everything in my power to become a victor and not a victim. Do not say this is going to be a part of my life because somebody told you it was going to be a part of your life. You need to start rejecting some of the stuff people tell you. You need to stop embracing it just because they said it. It doesn't mean it's true for you. Just because you don't believe, just because you're going to be in poverty, just because your marriage ain't going to work out, just because your kids aren't going to be successful. I'm not owning that. That's not my life. And the reason why I say it's my fault, even when it's not my fault, because when I say it's your fault, I give you power. I give you control over my life. And I will never give another human control over my life. It's my fault. It's my power. I'm coming up with a solution for it. Can you try? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Some of y'all, you're not even trying. You don't even try to do it. You've given up before you even tried. I'm taking ownership. You get to determine how you live. You live life on your terms. Go again, will your way through it. Some things you can feel yourself through, some stuff you gotta will your way through. And when there is no struggle, there is absolutely no progress. I will. Come on, I will. Come on, I will. I must.
What's the way? Or
Comeback power. What is comeback power? Comeback power is the ability to overcome any obstacle, challenge, or difficulty. You have this innate ability, this instinct on the inside, that you can come back from anything. Your human side quits everything quickly. You start a relationship on Monday and you quit by Wednesday because y'all miscommunicate, that you miss one text and it's over. That's your human side. But then you got this other side that can come back from anything. There's a part of you that don't throw in towels. There's a part of you that never says die. There's a part of you that refuses to quit. There's a part of you that has long suffering. There's a part of you that when you get down for the count, they count up to 8, they count to 9, but 10, you are back on your feet. There's a part of you that no matter what comes your way, you just got to bounce back up. You can't stay down. No matter what is thrown your way, you got something called comeback power. You've been through some stuff, man. You had to face some stuff that I ain't never seen. And you might be walking a little slow now. You might just be chilling now. But little do we know, if we saw the videos of who you once was, if we saw you younger days, we see you marching, we see you tearing stuff up. We see it why? Because you have come back. That's the only reason why you made it to where you are today. You survive in environments that other people drown in. Environment is everything. Environment is everything. There's a quote. I don't know who's quoted it, but there's a quote that says, "Everyone is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb trees, it will spend the rest of its life thinking that it's dumb." Let me say it again. Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb trees, it will spend the rest of its life thinking that it's dumb. You survive in environments other people drown in, because water might drown you, but it's home for a fish. Difficulty is not water you drown in. That's perfect conditions for you to swim. Difficulty? You a believer? This is what we do. This is what we do. Don't be careful when you compare yourself to people who don't have the anointing you have, who don't have the call that you have, who don't have the purpose that you have. I know what it did to them, but nobody's going to do that to you. Difficulty doesn't kill who you are. It actually reveals who you are. Can I tell you something? You ain't met the real you until you have to use your power. That's the real you. You are present. It's not the real you. That's not the real you. Smoking weed, that's the real you. Drunk you is not the real you. Because whenever you get into it, you start to feel alive. That anxiety, that's not the real you. That clay has convinced you that that's who you are. That makes you think that the shy, scared, jealous, doubting you is actually you. That's not you. That's the clay that you may be in, but that's not you. Underneath that clay, there is a spirit you. There is a supernatural you. There is a treasure on the inside. If that thing gets kicked in, your clay is in trouble. But it's hidden in a jar of clay. The reason why you don't know your superpower is because you can't see your suit, because it's dressed in flesh. Can I tell you something? You ain't met the real you until you have to use your power. That's the real you. You gotta take those dead clothes off. You gotta get up. You gotta get up. You gotta get up. But you gotta come back. Power. I don't know who sold us this idea that I'm supposed to be a millionaire overnight, that I'm supposed to have a successful business overnight, that I'm supposed to have a six-pack overnight. That's supposed to happen. greatest marriage has ever been seen overnight. And that is not true. The truth of the matter is that greatness takes time. Success takes time. If you're going to have the body of your dreams, that six-pack, bicep, tricep is going to take time. Time in the gym, time eating right, time. You are going to have the business that's blowing up that everybody's looking at and hiring people. It's going to take time. If you are going to have the mindset and you're going to have the legacy that's going to last, the legacy where you can pass something down to your children's children, it is going to take time. And my challenge with this generation, my challenge with our current culture is we are trying to rush. We want everything now. And if it doesn't come quick, and if it doesn't come in a hurry, we will abandon it. If our dream isn't accomplished in 2 weeks, we're done. If the relationship doesn't give us goosebumps quickly, we're done. Anything that seems like it's going to be tedious or like it's going to take long or like it's going to be a difficult time, we will totally escape it, get away from it, and abandon it. And many of us are missing out on golden opportunities because we don't want to take the time to go through the process. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes failure. It takes getting up. It takes you trying it again. It takes doors closing. It takes people walking out. It takes time for you to get to your success. There is no such thing as an overnight success. There's no such thing as you just got lucky. No, you got to put in the work. And the hard truth about life is that it's going to take time, which means you cannot rush this process. It means that you got to slow down. It means you have to appreciate where you are while also looking forward to where you're going. It means you're going to have to appreciate where you are while also looking forward to where you're going. But you cannot ignore the small successes and the small wins because you just have your mind on I gotta win now. This is preparation time. Come on. This time allows you the opportunity to get yourself together. Everything you're supposed to have is going to come to you in time. At the perfect time, you're going to find that beautiful bride. At the perfect time, all those clients you're going to be ready to handle. At the perfect time, you're going to see your staff come together. At the perfect time, that house is going to come and it is not going to overwhelm you. At the perfect time, you're going to see elevation in your life. So the hard truth about life, success takes time. Greatness takes time. But if you wait for the right time, I promise your moment's going to show up and you're going to be ready to handle everything that God has for you. We're going to talk the truth today. The truth of the matter is some of the stuff you want, you're not ready for. You're not ready for employees. You can barely wake up in the morning yourself. You're not ready for a staff. But some of you are not ready for marriage. I know you say you want to be married. If I just had somebody, truth be told, if you had somebody, you drive them crazy because you drive yourself crazy. You don't take care of your bike. What makes you think you're ready for a car? Maybe you're not ready for the house yet. You barely take care of your room. And you say, where the house not coming because God said, you're not ready for the house. Maybe you haven't arrived yet because you're not ready. Maybe you're not ready for it. And everyone's supposed to tell you you're ready and you can have it and you can do it and I got you. But it's going to take time because time gives you an opportunity to get prepared for the promise. I said time gives you the opportunity to get prepared for the promise. Maybe you need a little bit more time to work on your patience. Maybe you need a little bit more time to work on your understanding of this area or your understanding of this field. Maybe you need a little more time to develop your character. Come on, somebody. Maybe you need a little bit more time. Time. Why are you rushing to get keys to a car you can't fit into yet? Why are you rushing to get keys for something you don't know how to drive? The reason why my son can't get the keys to his car right now because he's 5. You're gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to see my son. He's gonna get a little taller for this. I'm gonna need to see him get his permit first. I'm gonna need to see him going ahead and get his license. He needs to go through some driving school. He needs to drive even when he does become a baby and get his permit. The car next to him to make sure he don't crash. Hear me. When you get something too early, you might crash. When you get something you can't handle, you might crash. When you get something too early that you're not ready for, you might crash. So maybe God knows what he's doing. Maybe you need to calm down because God knows what he's doing. He knows that you need time. Can I tell you something? You might have to scratch your calendar. That's why he said, this much money by the time I'm 23, and I gotta be at this place in my life by the time I'm 34, and I gotta be at this place in my life by the time I'm 40. And guess what? Sometimes your timeline isn't accurate. Sometimes your timeline is off. Sometimes your timeline has to be readjusted to reality. And the reality of the situation is that true success, true greatness takes time. Because when you let something takes time, then you can handle it. See, some people rush into seasons they weren't ready for. And so because they rushed into a season they weren't ready for, they destroyed the thing that was supposed to be theirs. I'm from the microwave generation, okay? When biscuit, all right, I think Pillsbury. You throw that thing in the oven and boom, you got it in 5 minutes. I'm from the microwave generation. I'm from the generation where if you wanted some hot food, you zapped it for 30 seconds and it was good. If you wanted a hot plate of food, you just threw it in a microwave for 10 seconds, put that thing on power, and just watch it go. And in 15 seconds, in 90 seconds, you can have a steaming hot meal. That's not my mother's generation. That's not my father's generation. That's not my grandfather's generation. Their generation, they are the crock pot generation. For them, a biscuit don't come in a can. A biscuit is made in the oven. For them, macaroni and cheese isn't that soupy stuff that we have on the stove. It is baked in the oven. And I find that many people, they want to microwave something that can only be finished in a crock pot. Let me say it again. I'm meeting too many people who are trying to microwave a dream that can only be developed in a crock pot. You cannot zap your dream and then it comes to pass. You can't just put business in a microwave for 30 seconds and then just see it blow up. You're not going to zap this thing. No. The hard truth about life. I think that sometimes we don't want to hear the truth, but success takes time. Let me say that again. Success takes time. thing that I want to do and not walking towards it. Not, I really don't feel like doing this, or why did I agree to do this, or why did I get into this? I got to be running to it. And I realized that if I'm able to do that, get up in the morning and run to it, then I'm in that place of joy and happiness. It doesn't mean that the work goes away, the work ethic goes away, work even harder.
For me, it always comes back to perseverance, persistence, high pain tolerance, an ability to suffer through discomfort, a welcoming of doing hard things, and willingness, really.
If you do the thing in spite of being fearful of doing the thing, that is courage. And if you don't do the thing, even though you felt like doing the thing, that is cowardice. And I think that motivation and patience are exactly the same.
No one wants to say they're afraid, because if you say you're afraid, that means you're a coward. And I think that it only means you're a coward if you allow that fear to change your behavior in an aversive way, as in it not towards what you want. And so, the inverse of that, many people have heard encourage that idea, without fear, but despite fear. And I think that when you allow fear to change your behavior the wrong way, that's when you give yourself that title of coward. And I think that is a title that I fear myself.
What's the missing piece in your life? What's the thing that brought you joy as a kid that you pushed aside? What is the most uncomfortable conversation with yourself that you've been running away from your entire life? Do you have the courage to engage with that? Are you willing to do a little bit more work? Can you pull back another layer on who you are? Are you man enough to do that? True growth, true expansion, and ultimately your highest expression and the manifestation of your greatest potential is inextricably connected to and linked to that willingness and courage to do that stuff that you don't want to do.
We don't experience life. We experience life we focus on. What's wrong is always available, so is what's right. Whatever you focus on, you feel, even if it's not true. If you imagine something horrible is going to happen, you feel it. You're in your body, right? So focus equals feeling. Focus equals reality to the individual. We decide, every moment we're deciding what to focus on, but most of us don't decide consciously. It's based on habit. So we're not in control. But we can consciously choose what to focus on. When we decide what to focus on, our brain has to come up with a meaning, like we said, at the end of the beginning. Loving me or dissing me, whatever the case may be. And that affects your emotions, which decides the third decision, what am I going to do?
And so a lot of people think that, like, it's not speed of activity, it's elimination of waste. There's all these other things that people are distracting themselves with. And so if you're that young man, you have to recognize the trade-offs that you have to be willing to make. You have to change your environment so you can change your behavior. And you have to delete everything that's not the thing that you want most. And if you can't decide what you want most, then that's what you need to do first. But once you know what you want, then go get it. And so people want the confidence before the reps. But especially in confidence, the proof comes before the pudding.
I didn't know what I was doing. So every day I'm struggling, I'm trying to figure something out, and I keep failing. But I knew that I had to learn in order to get to the goal that we wanted to get to. So I knew every day I had to get back up. And then the same with him, with the skill sets. What skill sets do I have to learn in order to get to the goal that we want to get to? And that comes with a lot of freaking sacrifices. The thing with excuses is sometimes they're very true, but it doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve your goal. So are you going to let it sit with you, or are you going to find a way around it?
They said if you really want to make it in Hollywood, then you can't call yourself The Rock. You gotta lose weight. Don't talk about wrestling. You have to look and walk and talk and act like these guys, and these guys are the biggest stars in the world at that time. Johnny Depp, Will Smith, etc. You don't know any better. You buy into that stuff like I bought into that back then. But then you start to realize something starts to eat at your gut about, well, this just doesn't feel right because I'm not being authentic. I'm not being myself. So finally, I said, a few years later, I said, I can't do this anymore. I have to be myself. Then this unique thing happened when I was myself, and we can apply it to all of us here, business, life, etc. Is how we're conformed. To me, when I became authentic and when I became myself. And then I went, I got it.
Delete everything that is not getting you closer to your goals. Probably the two most often asked questions that I have, that I like mentally think, I probably think of 10 times, 20 times a day, is number one, does this action, this person, this decision increase or decrease the likelihood that I achieve my goals? Does this friend who always wants to go out, does you playing fantasy football increase or decrease the likelihood that you hit your goals? And then it's black and white. It's pretty, like, if I said I want to become the best business guy and then sung songs every day, that's not going to be a line. Now, I can manifest all I want, but that's not going to be the thing that makes me the best businessman. And so I don't get to set those rules, but I can play by them. And I think a lot of men specifically waste a tremendous amount of time stomping their feet, demanding that the world be different than it is. And so to me, that's a loser's mentality. And they then spend more time defending their excuses than defending their ambitions. And so if you put all of the effort into how do I make this thing into reality rather than how do I excuse my behavior up to this point, like winners think about what they can make happen, and losers think about what happened to them. And it's one flip of a switch, which is I will judge myself on what I do and what I make happen, not what occurred.
Good times create weak people. They're not bad people, they're just weak because they have to be challenged. Weak people create bad times. Bad times create strong people. Strong people create great times. What I want people to get is you got to know where you are in your life and where you are in history, and you got to learn to take advantage of it. You can't complain that it's winter. During winter, if you start a business in winter and you succeed, 60% of all Fortune 1000 companies that are alive today, the biggest successful companies, could have been born in any one of those 4 seasons. They were all born in winter. Wow. Got a recession or depression.
Gotta love it.
From FedEx to Disney. Disney was depression. Yeah. FedEx was a recession. I can walk you through them all. So that process makes you strong. There's no guarantees, but there's patterns. And when you understand the patterns, fear disappears. You're able to figure out how to maximize anything you're involved with. And so I think it's important to understand these patterns, and I help people see the patterns. At whatever stage of life you're in, there's predictable problems and there's predictable opportunities. And what changed my life was finding that part that's inside of all of us that will not give up.
Tiny little things repeated over time is what produces dramatic change. And it's like this curve, it's like this very slow curve until it asymptotes up. And everyone wants to talk about the pivot moment when it goes skyward. But the truth is, the real work is in the drudgery and the difficult, anonymous work of shoveling shit every single day. In sobriety, they say, don't leave before the miracle. And I take that as a lesson in persistence. Whatever it is that you're pursuing to achieve or create or express in the world, I think a lot of people back out before that happens.
The next question becomes, what does it take to do it? And am I willing to do what it takes? This is a lot. It's a lot. But here's the thing. I believe if you think about it, it is only because somewhere inside of you, you have what it takes. The capacity is there. Willingness is something totally different. What matters is you have to find the thing that wakes you up at 3 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 10 o'clock. You got to find the thing that brings the lifeline, joy, and happiness. And you can't do that following somebody else. So my last thing, figure out what you was put on this earth. And I mean, every single chance you have, do it. Do it, and when you're not doing it, enjoy your life.
Follow the Motivation Daily podcast. Every day we upload speeches that help us inspire.
That leads to everything else. You have to first have courage. You have to have courage to quit your job. You have to have courage to get rejected. If you don't first have courage, nothing else follows. Again, it's not are you courageous or not, it's how courageous are you. It's not a binary. I have courage because I have done things that have required it.
It takes courage. It takes courage to have a difficult conversation. Growth takes courage. Learning takes courage. Like this takes courage.
Courage isn't for somebody else, for medals, applause, or moral debts. Courage is what at that moment feels most right for you. One great philosopher says, cowards die many times before their death. The valiant never taste of death but once. What does that mean? The valiant people aren't afraid? No. It means that they experience that fear and move forward. Move forward anyhow. Many people are dead now. Many people are allowing their dreams to die. Many people are allowing their
ideas to lie dormant and collect dust. Many people have all this talent and ability that they allow to be inside of them, that they will take with them to their graves because they didn't have the courage to be who they are. I'd say as you begin to look toward the future and manifesting your greatness, it's going to take everything in you, that your life deserves the concentrated effort to begin to look at how is it that I can express more of me? How is it that I can bring my ideas out here now? How is it? And start living with a sense of urgency because you're here today. You're gone today. Life is unpredictable. It's uncertain. There are no guarantees. No guarantees out here at all. So holding back, what are you waiting on? Ask yourself, what's the benefit of your waiting? What's the benefit of your not living your dream? What's the benefit of not listening to yourself?
The reason why you haven't gotten up yet is because you still think failure is final. Fear sedates us. Fear immobilizes us. Fear imprisons us. You gotta break out of that prison of fear and see yourself living in the same place that you lost. Show me somebody who has achieved greatness. And if you pull up their past, I promise you'll see some failures and some lessons learned. If we can change our perspective on failure, our lives will be the same. Stop telling yourself you're not good enough. Stop telling yourself you don't have what it takes. You want your future. Get off now. I'm getting up. I'm gonna do this again. I'm getting up. I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try it again. I was made to walk in purpose and to fulfill destiny. I was not created for a prison of fear.
Courage is the most important of all the virtues because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently.
It's an emotion you can't fake. If you fake bravery when you're terrified, that is bravery.
Well, you should be afraid.
But you should be more afraid of staying where you are if it's making you miserable.
When it will cost you everything, so much more. It's going to cost you everything.
Courage is something that rubs off on other people. I think it's enormously to be desired to be around courageous people. And that might be different types of courage, some of it physical, some of it mental. Surround yourself with courageous people, or at least not cowards, not cretins, not sort of people just say the same things everyone's meant to say. So there's many ways people can get out of this non-life that they are being shunted.
Can you do what is required to fulfill your purpose? Can you do what it takes? Can you implement? Can you execute? Are you disciplined? Are you principled? Do you possess courage to walk in purpose and fulfill your destiny?
What would your life feel like if you decided to become courageous? What would your life be like? If you decided to act on your dream, if you did what you felt in your heart, you know what courageous means? Courage comes from a French word which means of the heart. You know, it takes courage to live. Since most people go through life not allowing themselves to step out because they don't want to let go. They don't want to be blown around. They don't want to be moved. The courage to face life's whirling wind of contradictions. The courage to love yourself. The courage to take a chance. The courage to be who you are.
Be steadfast, be immovable, always abounding. Be brave, be strong. Come out of the dark and into the light with everything that you have. Run after it. And you keep giving, and you keep pouring, and you keep believing, and you keep pushing.
It is not the critic who counts, nor the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or whether doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who comes up short again and again and again, who, in the end, knows the triumph of high achievement, and who, at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly.
Please listen to yourself. You know the feelings. If you start listening to the feelings in your heart, and I'm doing it now more every day, I find that my feelings, I can trust them. And I say to you that as you look toward the future, you look at life on a daily basis, if there's something that you have been given, if you've heard something within yourself that you know that what you're doing now doesn't fit for you, it doesn't work for you, it's not giving you what you want, and there's something else that you want to do, don't allow inner doubt in you to talk you out of it, to build a case on why you can't have it, to tell you why you're not good enough. You ignore that inner voice and all the external voices. Don't judge the possibilities for what you can do based upon the circumstances, because the circumstances won't determine who you are. Don't determine what you're able to do based upon your resources. Don't determine what's possible for you based upon where your life is right now. Where your life is right now is not you. It's just what it is right now. But the possibilities for you are unlimited. If you're in a rebuilding process, it's unlimited. If you're coming back from adversity and devastation, it's unlimited of what you can do. It's the capacity of human beings. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you've made. It doesn't matter how many flops you've had. It doesn't matter how much money you've lost. In fact, I see it only as an investment of what you learn from life, not losses, but investments of what's possible for you. Once you start listening to yourself, and as you begin to act on your dream, as you start just trying to find your way, doing what you can with what you have, you will start seeing things opening up for you. You'll start attracting people. You say, where did it come from? Things will start coming together, clicking for you. You say, whoa, you start brainstorming. Ideas will come out of nowhere as you focus on it. The key to it is to begin to focus, because as you focus on that which you want to do, that which we focus on, that which we give our energy to, it will begin to multiply. It will begin to expand. It will begin to develop your consciousness. And out of that comes your greatness. Out of that comes a commitment. Out of that comes a passion for life. Out of that comes a special power that you have in you that you haven't even called on yet. See, the powers that we have will never reveal themselves if we don't challenge them. If we don't put ourselves in a position where we have to use them. And the guy said, put yourself in a position where you can't retreat. Where it's do or die, sink or swim. Here's what you'll find out. You'll develop incredible swimming skills. Or swallow half the pool of life. You'll find yourself stroking unlike you've ever seen before. Through the inspiration of desperation, you'll become more creative than ever before. All you can do is all you can do. All you can do is enough. Make sure you do all you can do. So as we look at the future, we can decide that from this day forward, as I look at my personal relationships, if I look at my professional relationships, if I look at my family relationships, as I look at all the dimensions of my life, looking at myself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I'm going to do all I can do to develop me, to bring my talent out here, to make a contribution to life. Here's what I know about you. That you got greatness within you. As you look toward the future and developing your greatness, begin to know that your life is worth the effort. Is it easy? No. Is it worth it? Yes. Yes, your life is worth it. You might have failed in the weight room. You might have failed financially. You might have failed in school. And it doesn't matter where you fail. I need you this moment to get up. Try again. superhero ability where you could send me back in time and give me a do-over, I wouldn't accept it. I would gladly relive everything I have been through, provided I had this outcome. Because who I am now and what I offer the world, I wouldn't want to give that up. And to avoid going through those dark days of the pain I went through. I think it was all worth it. It turned me into who I am.
And one of the most important lessons of life that you should know is to remember to have attitude, gratitude, humility. Use what I have. Use what you have to help others. You know, on your last day, you can't take it with you, but you can leave it here. You'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse.
I don't understand how people don't get that there's 7+ billion people, that there's so many people that have it worse than you.
But you got to start with gratitude. You're one of the richest humans on earth.
Preach it. Preach it.
When you look back, these will be the golden years, right? When I had my health, I had my full mental capacity, I had control of my bladder, I had all of the money that I needed to do the things that I wanted, to crush it with my friends, to fly around America and film these podcasts, or to launch this book that I spend all of this time on. And you can even see it in the micro. You can even see it when you look back on stuff that you've done in your day-to-day business.
From a gratitude perspective, my most powerful frame for gratitude has been thinking about my 85-year-old self, waking up as my 30-year-old self, and all of a sudden looking at my life. I remember when we were this young. 85-year-old me would be like, I'm just not, my body doesn't hurt. You know what I mean? Like, I actually have energy. Like, I can think clearly. I don't have brain fog because I'm 85, right? And that has been probably my single most powerful frame on feeling grateful.
You have to be grateful for the ground that you gained. Guard the ground that you gained. Celebrate the small wins. Gratitude grows when you recognize that your time here isn't promised. It humbles you. It motivates you. It makes you look at the clock differently. Suddenly, 5 more minutes of sleep isn't worth more than 5 minutes of growth. Scrolling on your phone doesn't feel as important as checking in on your dream. Hitting snooze isn't as appealing as stepping into your calling. When you see waking up as a privilege, you start showing up like you need it. You move like someone who's been chosen, not cursed. You walk like someone who's aware of the blessing. You talk like someone who knows that time is sacred. And that mindset, that awareness, that's what separates people who exist from people who live. I'm tired. It's too early. I gotta go to work. No. You get to wake up. You get to breathe. You get to chase your dream.
Today I want to talk about a force so profound, so transformative, that it can change the very fabric of our lives. This force is gratitude.
The two emotions that destroy your relationship, your business, your life, it's fear and pain. Those are two extremes. What's the emotion I want to train? Gratitude. You can't be grateful and fearful simultaneously. You can't be angry and grateful simultaneously. So what I do is I start my day, I make those changes, I close my eyes or I look out at the water and I think of 3 things I'm grateful for just a minute each.
I find 10 things to be grateful for before my feet hit the ground. Especially if I'm feeling strained and stressed. I go over my gratitude since gratitude will reduce stress all day long.
In the hustle and bustle of our daily lives, we often overlook the power of simply being thankful. But let me tell you, gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a way of life.
There's nothing you'll ever accomplish that's more remarkable than that you have a chance to accomplish something. When you're so grateful for the at-bat, you're happy.
When we unpack the architecture of a winning mentality, we're dealing with somebody that every single day they're beating on their craft and they're closing the gap. They are crystal clear about where they are and where they're looking to go. This is the type of person that's got tunnel vision. They move in the dimension of mindfulness and gratitude.
Thank you for your heart. Even when it's broken. Show gratitude for your composure. It helps you control your emotions.
I stand here in my greatness all my life. All my Enough. Breathe. Own it. Own it.
If you're in a state of gratitude makes total sense, then you will accept, believe, and surrender thoughts that are equal to that emotional state, and you could actually program your autonomic nervous system to make a pharmacy of chemicals that causes growth and repair to happen in the body. You start feeling gratitude, you start feeling more gratitude, you start feeling love, you start feeling more love, you start feeling kindness, you start feeling care, you start feeling appreciation, you start feeling creative, you start feeling inspired. Practice feeling those emotions. Part of yours back into balance. We discovered that once energy makes it to the heart, it's going right to the brain.
I take 3 minutes. It's kind of like a blessing or a prayer for people around me, for the people I love. And there's been a lot of studies about compassion for strangers, what it does to your brain. And then the last 3 minutes, I call 3 to 5, where I focus on something I really want to make happen. I get thanks for it as it's done. I see it as done. I experience it as done. I want the mind to activate the system. So now it's going to notice everything relates to that. That's a joyous feeling. And then in 10 minutes, I'm ready to rock and roll.
I'm trying to get people to practice bringing their perspective. If I wake up in the morning and nobody I love passed away or came down with a terminal illness, then my day starts off great. I wake up today. I wake up happy. I wake up excited.
Pause and reflect on what you bring. This simple act can turn darkness into light, struggle into strength. Embrace the power of gratitude and let it be the foundation of your journey. Because winning is not just an exterior thing, it's very much an interior thing. Winning has everything to do with yourself. How you walk, how you think, how you overcome conflict, how you navigate the world, how you navigate relationships, how you make money. Winning is not just an end thing, it's not just a crown or a trophy, it is the process. It's not just what I want, it is who I am becoming. Carry the power of gratitude with you. Let it illuminate your path, strengthen your spirit, and deepen your connection. The most important decision of your life is deciding whether you're truly committed to being happy no matter what. Because life is going to throw all kinds of curveballs at all of us. So the greatest gift you could give yourself is, I believe, to make that decision and say life is too short to suffer. It doesn't matter what happens. You're going to find something to enjoy and appreciate.
Find what you're looking for. You want to get sad? Go read all the negative stuff. It's there, unlimited. You want to be happy? Go find all the free content around happiness, self-fulfillment, positivity. It's all there. You find what you're looking for.
I'm not an advocate of toxic positivity or rose-colored glasses necessarily, but I do believe that you get to choose the thing that you're going to go looking for. And if you can get up and say, I'm going to go out and find some evidence of a good day, the likelihood of you having one is just higher.
Gratitude allows me to have perspective at the end of the day, as opposed to focusing on all the horrible things or the bad stuff. It brings me back to perspective that my life is amazing, even if it's horrible. My life is amazing, even if it's the worst day ever and everything's against me. I lose all my money and something else bad happens. It's still incredible. You focus so much on the negative that you forget on the positive. When you do think about the positive, you're not putting the energy in the positive like you put in the negative. I know how to talk negative just like you know how to talk negative, but it don't work. Nobody. Because if I put my energy into something negative, automatically my body's gonna respond and I'm gonna start doing negative stuff. I was homeless too. My father went in my life too. Struggles too. But I come to realize that when you think optimistically and you speak positively, you can speak those things which are not. You can say certain things out your mouth and make it happen.
Positive thinking is not about being delusional. Positive thinking is about learning how to take control of internal processes and understanding that that will shape your external environment. But it's about remaining in control of the internal landscape. It's about knowing that despite shifts in the external landscape, you're going to be okay.
This wave of betrayal, this wave of fear, this wave of grief, this wave of frustration, this wave of feeling stuck, this wave of feeling hopeless, it's temporary. It will come, it will go. And when you realize that emotions are temporary, it also gives you perspective to know that something better is coming.
One of my mentors, she had this business card that she used to give out to people. And it said that her greatest regret in life is trading in what she wanted in the bigger picture for what she wanted in that moment. And I always think about my life in that way of, is this what I want for the greater good, for my story to be, or am I acting out of a place of desire? Am I acting out of a place of wanting to change the way that I feel right now, knowing that that will hinder me? That's not really what I want. What place am I coming from?
Smart people like the idea of being cynical because it seems like you've considered all of the options. Only somebody that's a smooth-brained idiot would believe that things are going to go well, but it fails to recognize that your experience of your life is largely determined by the story that you tell yourself about it.
Well, I think it's the idea of going, look, you can change the way that you think about things. So I was thinking about things in, I can do this narrow bandwidth of things. My belief system, the assumptions I've made about life, well, you can get a job, you can work for someone, and after you get a job, you work for 4 years, you get a pension. I was on a conveyor belt, sure. And suddenly I went, oh, I can believe it. I can believe that I can do anything. I can believe I could be the guy on the TV show, tell jokes. You can. What you believe dictates your life. You'll be the barrier. You'll be the thing that stops you.
Life itself is what we deem it.
That's exactly right. It is what we deem it. And so you have to be relentlessly protective of the information that you take in, the thoughts that occupy your mind, the people that you surround yourself with. Because all of those things are influence factors. Another Stoic philosopher once said that when you leave your house and when you come back that night, you come back as a different man. You're never the same man coming back, right? Well, you're either coming back as a better human, more transcendent, more aware, more connected, or not.
So every single day for me, it's I'm humble and I'm listening, and my mind is open. And this is what I've seen, and this is what I can tell you about everything that I look at. I try and look at it from a humble perspective. And if you don't do that, it's going to be involved. Why did you hear me? How you see this thing?
I'm just elated by the jealousy that I leaned into my optimism and gratitude. You're thinking of that instead of blaming everyone else for it, putting the work to get out of it. Because you can. I believe in people. I believe in you.
How will you see the rest of your day? It's how you see the rest of your day. Will determine the way you see the rest of your life. There are few people who have decided within themselves, I'm going to make it. Some people aren't waiting to be cut. Some people are moving on their own because they feel within themselves what it takes to make it. They're not afraid about tomorrow because of how they see themselves, because of what they feel that they deserve, because of what they feel that they can create for themselves. Because these people have decided, as they look at the future, as they look at themselves, there's a way. Where there's a will, there's a way for me. You begin to clear a way out of no way. And when you have that kind of consciousness, when you have that kind of stillness, nothing can stop you. Nothing. When you want something out of life, you've got to be willing to go into action. Don't wait around for things to be just right. Don't wait for things to be perfect. Don't wait for the ideal situation. It will never be ideal. There will always be a reason. Well, as soon as the children grow up, or as soon as I pay my bills, or as soon as I get my divorce, like as soon as I get enough money together, do what you can, where you are with what you have, and never be satisfied. A lot of people never take a chance in life. They don't want to take any chances. They want the situation to be ideal. See, that's not walking by faith. That's walking by sight. I was born in a poor section of Miami, Florida called Liberty City. I was born in an abandoned building on a floor with a twin brother. And when we were 6 weeks of age, we were adopted. And when I was in the 5th grade, I was identified as EMR, labeled educable, mentally retarded, put back from the 5th grade to the 4th grade. I failed again when I was in the 8th grade. I don't have any college education, but because of my mother, and I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. I saw a sign once that said that God took me from my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. So my first major goal was to buy my mother a home, to take care of my mother. And I did that, took care of her until she passed at 88. But I'll never forget when I met Mr. Washington. I was in a class waiting on another student, and he came in. He said, young man, go to the board and work this problem out for us. I said, oh, sir, I can't do that. He said, why? I said, I'm not one of your students. He said, look at me. I said, yes, sir. Go to the board and work the problem out anyhow. I said, sir, I can't do what you're asking me to do. He said, why? Sir, because I'm educable, mentally retarded, sir. And as the students erupted in laughter, he came from behind his desk. He looked at me and he said, don't you ever say that again. Someone's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. And that was a turning point in my life. On one hand, I was humiliated. But on the other hand, I was liberated. Because he looked at me with the eyes of Goethe, who said, look at a man the way that he is. He only becomes worse. But look at him as if he were what he could be. Then he becomes what he should be. And I found that most people fail in life, not because they aim too high and miss. Most people fail in life because they aim too low and hit. And many don't aim at all. So raise the bar on yourself. Don't ask how you're doing, how you're going to do it. I'll never forget when I decided that I wanted to become a motivational speaker. I saw the late Dr. Norman Vincent Peale, and my heart said, I can do that. But my mind asked the question, how? And for over 14 years, I would go see Zig Ziglar and Dr. Norman Vincent Peale and Jim Rohn and different speakers, and I would be in the audience, and my heart would pounce and say, you can do that, Les. And then when I would leave, I would go into the parking lot, and my mind said, how are you going to do it? And I spent so many years trying to figure out how. I wasted 14 years. How many of you ever procrastinated? Raise your hands, please. Yeah, see, so as you begin to think about your goals, the most important thing is, and write this down, commit yourself. See, once you commit yourself, the how will come, the way will come. Once you commit yourself, you will then figure it out. If you're going in the wrong direction, all you have to do is turn around and go in the other direction. You will figure it out. You want to begin to just challenge yourself. You want to stretch yourself because you really don't know what you can't do. Once you think about the goals that you want to achieve, and I really want to challenge you to make up your mind that you're going to make that happen for yourself. And I hope that it's some goal that really resonates with who you are. What is your reputation in your industry? When you come into a room and you lead, what's the scuttlebutt about you? When people say, hey, that's a go-to person, that's a person. If you ask them to do that job, you're talking about the job being done. It will be done extremely well. Are you known for that person that can stand out with what you do and stand out with your quality of service, with your standards, always looking for ways to better your business? Are you one of those people that believe, well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Japanese believe if it ain't perfect, keep working on it. Are you willing to keep working on it? Are you willing to realize that you have not done your best stuff yet, that you can better your best? You got to take responsibility for that. And now let's go to the next level. Not only is it possible that you can live your dream, is it necessary that you call forth your team and surround yourself with people that you can learn from and grow from, that you must work on yourself and monitor yourself and train yourself. that you've got to begin to take total responsibility for the outcomes that you want to produce in your life? Well, let us say together with power and conviction, it's hard. Ladies and gentlemen, living your dream, changing your life, it's hard. It's hard. When you lose all your money, you've given it the best that you have. When you have some major setback, it's hard. When a doctor looked at me and said the three horrible words no one wants to hear, you have cancer. It was hard to mobilize my mind and spirit, to listen to tapes and music and read scripture and be around other people and seeking out other prostate cancer conquerors to believe that I could do this. It was hard. Never forget, my son said, "Daddy, are you going to die?" "Why are you asking me that?" "You're not going out much. You're not the bubbly personality that I know you to be. You're not talking much. You're spending a lot of time in the room by yourself. Are you going to surrender? Are you giving up? Are you going to let that doctor's opinion become your reality? Will my daddy see me graduate?" Yes, son, yes. I'm going to fight. No, I don't think it's my time yet. I'm going to see you graduate, but more than that, I've got some other things that I'm going to do with my life. And I thank you for asking me that. But I must tell you that I'm scared.